Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Studios here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today I'll be reviewing Scream 2. So, Scream 2 came out in the year 1997 and is directed once again by Wes Craven and stars Neff Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, and some new cast that includes Pinkett Smith, Graham, Liv Schreiber, and Timothy Olymphiant, and Sarah Michelle Gyllenhaal. Basically, the plot for this movie is about takes place 2 years after the events of the first film. Sydney and Randy are now together in college, and they're trying to move on from Ghostface. But then during the press screening of Stab, which is a movie, well, inside the movie based on Gail Weathers' book. Um, there was a new Ghostface attack that occurred, and now a new and now people are being targeted by this new Ghostface. So now Cindy must survive again, and um and the other characters must figure out who Ghostface is. I'm referring to Gail and Dewey, by the way. So, yeah, Scream 2 is the highest rated Scream movie on Rotten Tomatoes with a whopping 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, yeah, I'm not joking. And it's really surprising that this is higher than the first one. But at the same time, I've heard some people, like a teeny bit of people say that this is better than the first movie. And yeah, I don't know how to make this intro. I'm sure you probably know. I usually would do an intro talking about like my background in the movie before sharing my thoughts, but I don't really have much to say when it comes to the background and stuff. Um, yeah, so now I'll like instantly get into my thoughts on Scream 2 now. I I kind of enjoyed Scream 2. I think Scream 2 is a pretty solid sequel for what it is. But many people love it and say it's the best Disney and say it's the best Scream sequel. But in my personal opinion, I do think Scream is a bit I do think Scream 2 is not as good as everyone else says it is. Now, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy yeah, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy this movie for what it is, and I understand what it's trying to do. This movie is basically like trying to have have the same feeling of the metal and commentary stuff like trying of the first film. This time around, it's trying to poke fun at the sequels by you got the infamous school scene with students with the college students discussing about how sequels aren't usually not as good as the first one, but and then you got some students trying to defend sequels when one of them says, oh, there's some exceptions, and it mentions Terminator 2, The Godfather Part 2, Aliens, yeah. And by the way, I'm actually glad like the class and whoever wrote this script acknowledged Aliens being better than the first, because I thought sometimes I feel like I'm in the minority of saying Aliens is better than the first film. If you guys saw my Aliens review, back in December, I said Aliens is better than the first, and I know I'm in the minority because a lot of people say Alien is better, but I'm sure it's the writers trying to acknowledge that Aliens is the better film, and I'm happy that they did, because it truly is a better film, in my personal opinion. But yeah, I don't know what to say. I think the kills are really good as well. Yeah. Every time Ghostface appears on screen, it's an absolute blast. And the kills that are a lot more gory. They're a lot more gory. They're twice as intense as they were in the first film. And also you got a banger opening scene and a banger climax. So the opening scene is another banger. I think one thing that makes us Scream famous is its opening scene. The opening scene is usually the fan favorite scene in the entire film. So yeah, so the opening scene is what people would watch out for. It always opens the same way with like this victim. With this victim they pretty much put in this character usually a female character who's already popular. Like I'm sure they do that to give more room to lesser known stars. I can see that. Well, they put this team. I'm sure you probably know how the screen films usually open. They put this A-list cast actress, A-list actress, who will like instantly get killed like Ghostface, and like pretty much will be the first victim. This one actually I'm not, so I can't go back and forth to which Scream opening is better than this in the first film. I jumped to a conclusion that the first Scream opening is better, but this Scream's opening is also really top notch as well. Um, and I think this is one of Jada Pinkett Smith's better roles, better roles. And yeah, really enjoyed it, and I like seeing like so many Ghostface. I think that really having so many like people wearing Ghostface masks really brings in the suspense because you won't know if there's a real Ghostface since there's a real Ghostface lurking around the cinema, and then you're seeing so many like Ghostface. I think it's a it's a brilliant way of showing suspense. You're not gonna know who's Ghostface, who's actually Ghostface, who's actually a killer, or if it's just a fan made. So that's just brilliant. And the climax is a banger as well. Mrs. Loomis is a solid villain. Now, I think her plot, her motivation is simple. Like it's basically just her getting revenge on Cindy for killing her son. A very simple motivation, but I think it's really well executed because Mrs. Loomis seems like an absolute threat. Like an absolute threat. And I think the actress that plays her, I have no idea who she is, but the actress who plays her gives such a really good performance. Yeah, definitely a standout from Billions too, but I still like Mrs. Loomis. As for the other villain, Mickey Alteri, I'll get to that in a bit. But um, and yeah, and of course, well, the big three characters still great. I mean, Gail Weathers and Gail and Dewey are still as awesome as ever. I actually think this is Gail's best when it comes to the original four. I mean Scream Five and Scream Five is probably my favorite Gail moment, and potentially Scream Six as well. Like I think like based on trailers, I'm very sure Scream Six will be Gail's best because of how she how she finally got the Ghostface call and we get to see her fight against Ghostface. So I'm very sure Scream Six Gale would be the best Gale, but besides that and Scream Five, Scream Two's Gale is my favorite. And Dewey is just as awesome as the first film. I can see why Dewey is the fan favorite character. Yeah, sure. Yeah, Gail can be annoying at times, and she can be unlikable at times, but it doesn't matter to me. Okay, guys. Now we're getting into my issues with the film. The issues with the film. And yeah, I do definitely have some really big issues. I don't have a lot of issues if you count them, but they're really big. They really do bring the movie down. I think my biggest problem with the movie is that there weren't enough kills. I mean, this is a Scream movie, so you're expecting a little more Ghostface kills, but unfortunately, there isn't a lot of Ghostface kills. And it's really sad because especially for a sequel that's made to be bigger than the first film and has bigger kills, there definitely needed to be more kills in there. And I know that sounds like an unfair criticism because I also have to look out for the story. Yeah, I mean, what made the first Scream movie so special is that it has a really like the movie is kept strong all the way through. Whether it's the kill scenes or if it's just the story scenes about all the action and stuff. Like Scream never bored me. It left me like it left my eyes glued on the screen from beginning to end. That's not the case with Scream. Scream Two apparently. The first act was solid, and the third act was an absolute banger. The second act though was an absolute chore to sit through. I mean, literally the only kill I can like think of that happened throughout the second act was just Ghostface killing of Randy in the car, and then like it only lasted for like a second and then he just goes away. So yeah, the second act was an absolute struggle to sit through. I didn't like the second act at all. And also Mickey Alteri is not a good villain. He's probably my second least favorite Ghostface villain, second only right behind Well, actually, I'm not sure if he's better or worse than Charlie. Like pretty much Charlie from Scream Four. I would have to think about it. Because Charlie's also not. I also don't like Charlie that much. I think he's a very forgettable villain. At least I can remember Mickey more than I can remember Mickey more than Charlie. So I'll probably think about it when I rewatch and Scream Four and do my review. I'll let you know who I think is worse, but. For sure, they're both better than the Scream Thief villain. Don't get me started on him. Um, I used to like Mickey. I thought Mickey was really good, and Timothy Olymphianta gave a really good performance. But the more I think about it, I realize that Mickey is not a good villain. I mean, yeah, sure, he's cool, and he's the one in the Ghostface mask. We don't see Mrs. Loomis wearing Ghostface, but where's the motivation? There's no motivation. Yeah, she can argue that Stu is the stand of the villains in the first one, yet barely has a motivation. But at least he's still well executed. I mean, not all villains need motivation, but this villain right here, Mickey, yeah, I just didn't really care that much about him. Like his motivation is so lackluster. They tried way too hard to give him one, but that's pretty. You can see that they didn't know what motivation to give him. So yeah, there's that. Yeah. So overall, Scream Two is a solid sequel. While it's certainly nowhere near as good as the first, and I wouldn't say it's a great film. It's still it's still a very well made Scream sequel. Yes, sure, the movie can drag a lot of times and needed more kills and needed to be a little more entertaining, but it still has a pretty solid story that really keeps kept what made the first one really like smart. Yes, it's not as clever as the first one, but I really love the commentary about sequels and seeing like characters poke fun of it. So with that said, I'm gonna give Scream 2 a 7 out of 10. So also for my review of Scream 2, what is your opinion on this movie? Do you think this movie is better than the first film? Do you think it's the best Scream sequel? Do you think it's one of the better Scream sequels, or do you think it's one of the weaker ones? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, and stay tuned for my review of Scream 3. I'm gonna be recording it right now, so yeah, bye guys.